Yo, what's good everybody? I'm back with another tutorial, and in this video I'm going to be teaching y'all how to make a simple looking park bench that looks like this. First thing you want to do is pull out your maker pen, and then I go to grid. I'll go on grid for this, and then I want to go to cube, okay? And then for me, what I'm doing is I don't want to use uniform shapes. I want to turn that off, and then I want to have my settings like that right there. So it's small, compact, and simple. First of all, you want to make one of these planks you see going across like this. So hold up. Then you want to manipulate it, click this, and then you want to click on your shape to get the thickness that you desire for your plank. So I'm probably going to do something like that. And I want the width of it to be like about right there. So then, now that since you're on grid and you have the snap settings that I showed you earlier, you're going to want to clone it and move it over like that. And then I'm probably going to do that about 5 times. Oh shoot. It's okay if you mess up. You can always go back and move it. I have super shaky hands, so I'm not the best at this. Let's do it again. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Okay, so we've got this part done right there, which we'll keep it at this length. We might make it a little bit wider later. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build these two little parts to the seat, and I want to make these a little bit wider than when I made these. So hold up, go right here, make them a little bit wider and thicker. So like that, but you still want to make them like pretty much like the same length, like towards the side like that. So, but what I mean by wider is I mean like that. And then I'm going to clone it over here so I get the sizing right. I'm going to move it over here. Hold up. Like I said, you can always go back and fix your length if you ever need to. Okay, so now I'm going to select this one and that one. And then I'm going to both move them down to however low I want it. I'm going to say that right there is probably good. I can move it out later if I want it to. If I want to. Okay. So, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this plank going across. And this is actually super simple. You just grab a tube, go back, go underneath, and then, well, bam. Kind of do it however you want to have it. Do it a little bit wider. About like that. Okay, so now I'm going to do that same thing, but I'm going to make a long one because I'm going to make this part. So you always want to make it a little bit taller than the actual bench because, the hypotenuse or whatever. Let's say that's a good angle. Sorry, I'm using that as reference. I built that earlier. Let's go about right there. That's good. And remember, you don't absolutely have to copy me. I mean, you're your own person. You can do it any way you want to do it. I mean, that's part of, being creative. So, remember, you can make it wider and stuff. What I'd do is I'd fix however this side you want it to be. Like wider, thicker, whatever, And then I'd make sure I'm always on world scale, world space, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to clone this one. So I'm going to clone it over. And then I'm going to try to line it up kind of like how I had it over here. So now, I have to make this board across here. This will be super simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click manipulate on this top one. And I'm just going to clone it down here. So, it's going to go underneath a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to make mine a little bit smaller. So it's kind of like setting in between the, the wood. And then now, I'm going to take this part, and that part down there. And I'm going to clone it across, but I want to leave a little bit of this overhang. So, let's do that right there. Okay. So now we've got the general base and body of our, bench. So, the next thing we're going to do is, this part's going to be a little bit harder, because I'm not the greatest with tube, but I'm also not, like, the worst, you know what I mean? So, I'm probably going to go to about this size-ish. Yeah, this size. And I'm going to go on, I don't want to have fixed tube width on, so this will be easier. So that was so as I let go of my trigger, my tube gets, thinner. So I'm going to make a super small, simple little, like, nail. This is a little bit harder. If you struggle with this, it's okay. Okay, so now I'm going to see if I can manipulate it and fix it to how I want it to be. Okay, so I want mine to be like that. So if you saw me use the manipulation tool just then, I clicked on manipulate and then moved it back like that. So now, do you see where these, like, if you had an actual bench, you'd want, like, all these boards to be attached to, like, the stabilizers, whatever you want to call these things. So there'd be a nail right there attaching this board to this. So let's put nails across there. So let's rotate this. Let's move. And now you don't want it being like that, because whenever you hammer in a nail, you don't have half of it hanging out, you have most of it's like, inside. So you want to just be able to see like the top of like the nail. So, and I'm going to try to line it up too with like the board. I might want to lower it just a little bit. Nope, I think that's good. So now let's clone it to where it's kind of, centered up, kind of. But not, like, fully centered with all of them. Like, you want some of them to be slightly off. Because then, it kind of looks more realistic. Because if you had all of them, like, straight in the center, it'd be, like, too perfect, We want this to look nice and, like, hand-built. So there you go. Now we can take this again. I'm gonna click manipulate so I can like grab it easier, and I'm gonna clone it. Boom. And I'm gonna rotate it over here like this. Okay, so now you see how I have them like this? That was so this board's stabled and clamped into there. So I'm gonna move this one down here. Foop. Right there. And we'll move this back. Well, no, we'll just keep it like that. And then we want to clone it, make it go over here. That was so it's even on both sides. I want to select this one too. And then I'm going to clone flip it like that. Move them over here. Sorry, I'm hopping. Okay, so now I've run into a problem that I just now saw. So I want to click manipulate on this. I can either make this wider, like this, which I actually kind of like more, because then it's more, I actually like that more than just doing this. So you could either make this wider, or you could actually click on it and then move back the nail, like manipulating it. But, yours probably is going to end up the exact same as mine. So I'm going to do that right there. Because, building's all about trial and error, so. You want things to look, as good as you can possibly do, because otherwise you just have nails sticking out, and you don't really want that, because I don't think park benches have that. Otherwise, people would be having a whole bunch of tetanus shots. I think that's what that is. Yeah, tetanus shots. So now, bench, pretty much done, okay? You can add more to it if you want, like maybe, I don't know, put like a flower pot on top or something, but I'm just showing you the basic of like, a bench. So now, I'm going to recolor this bench to being like this. To being brown, like normal brown, and I'm going to have wood grain. I'm going to start selecting everything, so all like the orange. Except for the nails. And I'm going to do the nails gray. So start recoloring the nails. And then you can color it like however you want to, This is just my, like, personal way that I'm going to color it. And then you can make things thicker, wider, however you want it to be. That's just how I'm going to do mine. And I'll see you guys in the next one.